Yo, what's good, basketball heads? It's your boy Crush. So let's talk about Charles Barkley saying that players have nobody to blame but themselves for the 65 game minimum rule. They didn't respect the game. And I agree with him. They did not respect the game. Dudes would sit out when they could play, not even injured. They'll just sit out because they feel like taking the day off, not caring about the fans paying their hard earned money. They'll just like, whatever, I'm going to take today off. Dudes injured, they would stay out longer than they need to just because they can. And the NBA said, okay, you know what? Enough of this bull. And they came with the minimum rule. Now everybody's playing. Look at Kawhi Leonard. Played almost every game this damn season. Prior to this season, the man would miss so many games. Why? Because he can. But now with the minimum rule, he has to play. So as you can see, Kawhi's been out here in the trenches. And that's what we need, man. Enough of all this nonsense. Y'all dudes want to sit out all day. You don't want to play the games. Dudes is spending hella money. You're just going to sit on the bench or not show up? We can't have that. And the NBA said, nah, this is enough. Y'all milked the system long enough, took advantage of us. Now we're taking this back. So they started implementing rules, putting new rules in place to stop all the madness. So I agree with Charles Barkley. Dudes don't respect the game. This current generation of players and the new players coming in, they don't respect the game. They don't. Dudes have no respect for the game, man. They just don't respect the game like that. But that's the truth. Hence why they do all the madness, like sit out and don't play, not care about the fans. You know what I'm saying? Like dudes is spending all this money. They want to see their favorite player on the court. Dudes show up to the game. Your favorite player is not playing tonight, or he's not even in the building. Like, what's up? Oh, he decided he wanted to take the night off. So you spent all this money to watch the bench players. That's just crazy. So Charles Barkley says players are responsible for the rules on NBA award eligibility. And I agree. If these players weren't messing around, taking advantage, and just doing a lot of nonsense, they wouldn't be in this situation right now. But this is what you get. So this is what Charles Barkley had to say. These players got nobody to blame but themselves. The Players Association signed off on the deal. I thought it should have been 70 games. These guys have put themselves in a situation where they didn't respect the game and started resting and load managing, and the NBA had to do something. The fans get to see these players one day a year, and they pay all this money for tickets, while these guys are making $40 to $50 million. They need to play. It's a fair rule. I thought it should have been 70 games. So Charles Barkley saying if it was up to him, he would make it 70 games, even more than 65. And I'm not mad at that. Whatever is going to make these dudes suit up and get on the court. Because they've been load managing for years, man. Years upon years of load managing. Just load managing just because they could. And this is why a lot of us respect the 90s and the 80s more, because dudes played. If you were available, you weren't injured, hurt, you got on the court. Once you felt like you could lace them up, you got on the court. And nobody was fiending to load manage. Players back then, they wanted to play. They actually wanted to get on the court and compete. Nobody wanted to sit out games unless they actually had to because they're injured. Now dudes just want to sit out just because they can. And that's just crazy. So I'm all for all the rules the NBA decided to implement. I'm all for it. I have no issue. If this is what it takes to force these dudes to get on the court and lace them up, so be it. So, load managing, it started off as like dudes trying to preserve themselves so they don't get hurt. But eventually it spiraled out of control. And they just started taking advantage of it. Something that was supposed to be, we're trying to stay healthy. We're trying to eliminate injuries or keep injuries to a minimum. That turned into, we're just going to sit out because we can. I don't feel like playing today. I'm just going to take advantage. And enough is enough, man. And Kawhi Leonard, he's like the poster boy of this whole situation. This man would load manage his life away. He joined the Clippers, and ever since he joined his team after winning a chip in Toronto, this man have load managed for seasons on seasons. Games upon games of load managing. And this shit was out of control. And load managing got so bad, to the point where teams would sit out their entire starting lineup. Think about that. A team will sit their entire starting roster just because they could. That's how bad it gotten. So they would sit out all their starters with no warning, no indication, just because, you know what, we could do that. And after years and years of the abuse, the NBA said, okay, man, you dudes have abused us long enough. You have taken advantage long enough. We are taking this back. And they implemented a bunch of rules to combat all this madness. And so far, it's looking good. And I'm all for it, man. Whatever to get the players on the court. And Charles Barkley, he's right. I'm going to agree with Charles 1,000%. He's right. These dudes don't respect the game. You have to respect the game, man. You have to respect the fans, man. They're the one that's putting money in your pocket. You gotta have respect. A lot of players in the 80s and 90s, they took pride in playing. Dudes took a lot of pride in getting on the court. Every single night, dudes wanted to play. If they weren't injured, they wanted to play because they took a lot of pride in that. And they know there's fans on the other side watching. They know there's a lot of fans watching who spent a lot of money. We don't want to disappoint them, so let's lace them up. So dudes back then in the 80s and 90s, they actually cared about the game. They respected the game. These new dudes, nope, they're a whole new breed. It got to the point where load managing was so bad, it became the norm. Every team load managed. That's how bad the situation got. And you have young players like Tyrese Halliburton. He said the new rules, they're stupid. Of course he feels that way. Like I said, these dudes, they want to control the whole situation so they could rest when they want to. They could do what they want. But no, that's not how it's going to work. You're making big money. We need you to lace them up. Period. From a player perspective, to win awards is now harder because you got to stay healthy. I know that's unfortunate, but they had to do something. With every pros come cons, and they had to do something. Yes, you have to stay healthy to win awards, but at the same time, this is helping to combat load managing. So it's a give and take situation. I know a lot of people might not agree with it. A lot of players are unhappy with it, but the NBA had to do what they had to do, man. It is what it is. But once again, I agree with Charles. They abused the situation, abused the system, took advantage. These dudes didn't respect the game, and here are the results. But as always, I'll holla. As always, we just talking basketball. Hit the subscribe button, like, comment, share. Holla at your boy.
It's all about the game and how you play it. It's all about the game. I'ma say it. It's all about the game.